Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Backpack Trader Training Room for Thursday, April 23rd, 2026. Please note the required risk disclosure. This room is for educational and information purposes only. It is not financial advice. Trading of this type carries substantial risks and should only be attempted with funds you can afford to do without. Trade your charts, not mine. All right. Only session today, we'll do away with risk disclosure. Crude and unleaded both have, well, actually, unleaded target 1 was positive. Target 2 had a rough time. Crude picks up his first trade. That stops and reverses into second trade that goes, hits money management is a break even, so 2 ticks on that. We lost, I think it was 50. Let's see, we went 09 to 23. 14 ticks, down 28, plus 2, down 26. And we pick up this short at 93.09 again. And that stops. That is a stop and reverse exit only. That's the third trade, so that's the end of the session. Exit only again at 23 again, so that's another 28 tick loss. So 26 and 28, loss of 54 on 3 trades. So we will do a 10 o'clock session. We'll bring that forward at this point. Market is open. Yeah, that one was too early. That was 9:15 and had already made money management. So. Pound Aussie got a short, get in sync right over here. Picked up target 1 for 17 pips. Remaining 4 positions trailed out at 88.83. An entry at 88.89, so 6 ticks times 4, 24 pips. And 17 is 41. Not a bad morning. I did not get in sync with the short on soybeans. We had them long up here that would have triggered in. And so that would have canceled out the short, so I'm not going to look at that short. YM. There is our start time. That one's definitely too fast. This one may be 1, 1, 3, 3, 6. No, it's flattened. Nope, that one's too fast. No trigger on the short. Definitely in this long. It's just going back and forth. Back and forth. To me, like we stayed in the long. The short was 513. Yeah, we only got 1 tick beyond, so we never did. We'd never have entered the short. So we stay in the long. Got a new long that triggered. And now we have a stop and reverse entry that looks like it may have just touched. 99, that would be 97. So we go to the short at 97. 497. That did trigger in. There's a stop up there. Target 1 is worth 30 ticks, actually 31. Looks like we just missed money management. 470, we got as low as 471. Yeah, missed it by a tick. So we go from, and there's target 1, 509 to 497, 12 tick. That's more than 12. 533, excuse me. Yeah, there we go. 533 to 97, 36 ticks, down 72. Target 1 was worth 31. Still trailing, and we're at target 1 for the trailer. Now a few ticks below. We're approaching break our positive point. Soybeans stopped out. Yeah, we should be. Yeah, this should get us positive on the YM. $490. Yeah, 497 to 431. Yeah, 431. 431 was our. 431 was a stop. 497 is 66. To go along with our 31 is 97. We were only down, what was it, 72. So up 25 net, one and done session. I'll throw unleaded up there so we can look at it in a few minutes. There's a new trade on the micro Russell. Long trade, definitely in that. Going to take some heat, it looks like. Money management has to go up 1 tick from target 1. There we are. Okay, we are at our start time for the micro NQ. We had the long trade that was too early. Money management on the micro Russell. Soybeans is flat, looking for a new trade. IM is done while we're waiting for micro NQ and micro Russell. Let's take a look at unleaded. This trade set up just a little bit too early. That long was filtered out, so we're still in the short. There's our start time to 11 seconds, so definitely in the trade. Comes down. Hits target 1 for 47 ticks. Does never get down to target 2, so target 2 picks up 2 positions on the trailer. 452 from the entry at 474, 22 ticks, 69 ticks for target 1 traders, 44 for target 2. Target 1 is done, one and done. Target 2 traders continue to trade. Pick up this long 18-second bar, probably in that. That one never gets to target 1, oscillates back and forth a couple of times, and stops and reverses at 439. So 466 to 439, 27. So 54 tick loss. That puts us down 10. 439, then we come up with another stop and reverse. This one at 471. It's another 64 ticks, 32 tick risk. So now we're down 74. We stop and reverse again. 444 from 471. 27. Another 54. So down 128. And that trade hits break even, or hits money management, but not target 2. We needed target 2 there. 2 tick break even. So we're down 126. We get the entry at 451. That again goes to money management, just misses target 2. Target 2 this time was 493. We got as high as 492. That would have been a trade for profit. You don't want that one to go all the way back to a 2 tick. So we trade for profit. Probably lost 4 or 5 ticks. Target 2 would have been 42, so call it 37. $89. And we pick up 1 more tick on the trailer because we did go profitable on that. I'm not going to use the major key level. So we'll get 1 tick, and we're down 88 on the session. Still nothing on the micro NQ. Micro Russell ends up with a break-even trade. Yeah, that was too early. Break-even, then we get this one, 9, 12, 18. Yeah, no way to get away from that one. That is a full loss. 38, 5 seconds. That one's iffy, and it's still in the trade, so it's actually still a valid trade. That is a big trade. Definitely going to be a target 2. And target 1 is 2.7. So that's where our break even is. We'll start trailing at 70% of that target 1. We'll likely start trailing before we get to target 1. 70% of 27. All that 19 ticks. So yeah, we'll start trailing at 3.2, and we do hit the entry again, so definitely in the trade, whatever it was. We'll start trailing, as I said, at 3.2, so then we'll just trail the 6 ticks behind the 14. All right, long trade on soybeans. We did pick up an entry. Actually, we picked up a couple of shots at the entry there. So there is our long trade. Stop is down at 58.50, 58.5. Micro Russell, not sure where it's going. Target 2 there is 4.1, so that's definitely our first goal. I'm sorry, 4.2 is where we'll start trailing. $19 ticks. Meets our 14 tick minimums. Quick pop on the micro NQ, way too fast to have. Yeah, way too fast to have traded that. That trade also was too fast. Now, if it comes back down, it's still a good trade. If it comes back to the entry. If it hits target 1, it's off the table. There's money management, so that trade is off the table. I'll bring it back for a moment before we get the unleaded chart back where it belongs. Okay, there we did get back down to our entry. It's a valid trade. Well, actually, maybe. I will assume so. That was a no trade. Yeah, we started in here, so no trades, no trade. Trade 1's a winner. Target 2. And trailing now. Micro Russell taking some heat. Taking a lot of heat. Trying to push down through the 50 EMA. And there is a stop and reverse. Now we put that 1 point below the entry. 99.4, make it 98.4. I'm sorry. This one would be 2 ticks. So it would be 99.2. I was thinking micro NQ still trailing there. That's not the right line anyway. Touched it. That was fairly quick. If you didn't get that executed, then you would have stayed in the original long. And it got 4.1, one tick to start trailing the 14. And there it is. Yeah, there's your one tick. So you're trailing the 14 now. $800.9 would be the trailer. Still trying to work up to target 1. All right, we stop out. We get targets 3 and 4 on the micro NQ. Stop out on the trailer. Really nice first trade. All right, that is a quick setup. Before it come down again. Wow, that banged through, went off to money management rapidly. Don't know if that would have executed or not. Certainly the order would have been in place. Gets target 2. Let's see if we can place. Yeah, there's target 3. That's win number 2. If assuming your order was executed, which I think is quite possibly not going to have been executed, so it would be a no trade. All right, we stop out. Yeah, we'd have stopped out of the 800.9 on into the short. Yep, that goes break even. And the long currently is break even. One tick up. Would have been before 2. Money management, yeah, on the micro Russell. Let's see, that was too early. Yes. First trade was a break even. Second trade was a loss. Third trade $800.9, so we had a very small loss. Original entry on that trade was actually, yeah, it would have been one tick. Oh, I'm sorry, this trade. 14 tick loss. Actually, 14 times 2, 28 tick loss. So that actually, we would count that as a loss. Break even, 2 losses. All right, win, break even, and that's looks like that's going to be a full stop out on the long side. Yeah, that hit the stop. Definitely hit the stop. Now we have a short. Should be in that. So 2 wins, a loss, and now we're in trade number 4. Break even. Now we're back in a long again on the micro Russell. Okay, yeah, I've got that marked up. That goes break even. Doesn't get targets. Short 610. Yeah, we should be in that short with, that's a 23 tick bar, 23 second bar on the second bar after the setup. So in that trade, would have gone down a tick from there. Don't worry about that right now. And that gives us a nice winner so far. Targets 3 and 4, and trailing. Short get on the micro NQ gets money management. Soybean still in its long. So that was a break even. Loss. Loss. Actually, this one, yeah, well, that one is gonna, no way around it. And that one's gonna be a loss. That'll be loss number 3. This one would have been a break even. That actually would have been trade number 4. Yeah, trade 4. 5 would have been the break even. 6 would have been another break even, and we wouldn't have gotten to the short anyway. So looks like we just barely survived the micro NQ trade. I'm going to mark up some of these crude trades. We're getting close there. Close to our session. I'll start marking them up. Actually, that's an add-on, so this is the all right, target 2. So there's another win on the micro NQ. Third win. That's going to be the third win against one loss. This is trade 4 and trailing. So we are beyond 150% of target 2, target 1 rather. Target 3, so that's another target in hand and trailing down. Looks like we may have hit target 4 or missed by a tick. Target 4 was 97 3/4. Missed it by a tick. Now we went through it. We were at 98 flat as I looked at it. And it went on through. So target 4. Market not liking what's going on in the Middle East, it doesn't look like. Crude pushing strongly up now. Yeah, definitely signs it doesn't like what it's seeing in the Middle East. We are at our start time, and is that going to be that? Nope. 5 seconds we were up here and never came back. So first possibility is this short. That just triggered in. That just barely triggered in. Trying to push down through the 20 SMA. Soybeans, micro NQ, and crude 10 a.m. mini session. Wow. Micro NQ still pushing down. Judging by micro Russell and micro NQ and the YM to some extent. Now, crude down here, popping back up. That was 3 wins. We popped through this pretty quickly. I'd say it's get in sync at this point. Oh, nope, didn't quite get back. This would be trade number 5. We'll take one more win, 2 more losses or 2 more trades. So from this point, so this is the first of those trades. So when ends the session, or one additional trade if it's a loser or a break even. And we get a one and done session on crude. 11 and 18, 29 ticks, one and done for the 10 a.m. crude mini session. Money management on this trade, so it's definitely not going to be a loss. Needs to get up through the 200 EMA to get target 2, and that would be our power of quitting. It would be 4 wins. So as the trade finishes, that would end the micro NQ session. That would leave our only, and we just stopped and reversed on, and there it is. Our only remaining chart will be the, once that trade on micro NQ finishes, will be the soybeans chart. That will go to 60 and a half for the entry. Definitely did trigger in. So that's our stop. There's the target. All right, so we go 62 3/4 to 60 and a half. 2 1/4 points. That's 9 ticks. We're down 9 points. Win number 4 on the micro NQ. So this is its final trade. The next goal will be target 3. Crude coming down precipitously after that quick jump up. A little slower coming down, but coming down strongly nonetheless. Back down through the 200 EMA. All 3 market indices with strong bounces. And that's a stop and reverse exit, positive exit. That's the one I want. This is the one I want. Put that there, and that is our exit point. That's our exit point. So that is our 4th win. That would have been our stop, break-even stop, which we hit also. So that trade is done. All we have is crude is done. Everything's done except soybeans. The Mr. Picks. These are strategies based on Backpack Trader trading plans, which Micro Russell and Micro NQ are using Catapult Trader. These are custom plans on both of those. Using a 1.5 point brick Renko bar with a 5-tick offset, half point, 15-tick brick, 5-tick offset, using Catapult Trader. Micro NQ is a 12-point bar, 3-point offset, 48-tick brick, 12-tick offset, also custom Renko bar using Catapult Trader. Pound Aussie, crude, YM, and we also were looking at unleaded are all on Spotlight Power Trader. Those are all different range bars. 8-pip range bar for Pound Aussie, 8-tick or 8-cent range bar for crude, 14-point range bar for YM. Soybeans is using Counterpunch Trader, using a 5-tick range bar. That's going to pretty well wrap it up for today. Soybeans is not moving rapidly. As you can tell, here is the open at, yeah, that's at 8 o'clock last night. Yeah. The last bar before the close was 218, and the next bar didn't close until 8 p.m. over 6 hours later. But again, not moving, not much, certainly not very rapid movement, given that there is the session close yesterday evening. And a good thing to be out of the micro NQ. We've gotten a stop and reverse loss on the short, and then a full loss on the long. Soybean, our only active chart is soybeans. It is short. We have a 9-point loss on the stop and reverse. And that's where we are. Okay, TradingView. None of these strategies are programmed for TradingView. They're only programmed for NinjaTrader, TradeStation, and some of them are coded for MT4 and for Thinkorswim. But these strategies actually print the trades right on the charts for you, as you can see. So you don't have to go through calculations determining where your entry is. It's right there on the chart for you. And we always do advocate doing your own testing. Make sure, for a couple of reasons. You want to make sure you have a statistical advantage to your trade plan. And two, you want, in the testing, you're going to gain a trust in the trade plan that it is going to give you a statistical advantage, and you can see your equity curve moving forward. Always, so when you get, because there will be drawdowns on any strategy, you're going to have losing trades. And you don't want to get into a situation where you take a few losing trades and you lose faith in your trade plan. You don't trust it anymore. If you've done the testing behind it, you have a solid trust in that, and you'll continue to maintain your records to see and see if it gets drawdown, but then it'll come back up. And as you see that time and again, you'll trust it to come back again. And one or two losses, depending on the trade plan, you could see multiple losses in a row, depending on what your win percentage is. Statistically, you could see several losses in a row even with a 90% win rate. So you want to try to have an understanding and trust in your trade plan, so that when it does take a drawdown, you're not going to just abandon it while it's down. You'll stick with it till it comes back up. Yeah, soybeans is not going anywhere. Other questions or comments? Well, okay, you're saying you're using candle bars, but what are the parameters for those candles? These are essentially candlestick charts. But the bars are range bars or Renko bars. Because candlesticks can be range bars, can be Renko, what have you. They can also be time-based or tick charts. So candlestick doesn't tell you what kind of chart it is. Okay, you're using essentially an EMA cross and an ADX. But what kind of chart is it? Is it a time-based chart? Is it a tick-based chart? Is it a range bar? I'm showing 3 different EMAs on all of these charts. Or actually 2 EMAs and 1 SMA, 50 and 200 EMAs and the 20 simple moving average. Okay, so you're running 15-minute charts with candlesticks. Okay, that for a day trade. That's 15-minute charts. You're going to have to spend a lot of time in front of the charts, especially if you get into a trade. And nothing happens for 15 minutes. It could be, you can see a huge move in 15 minutes, or you can see almost no movement. That's one of the reasons that we like in Backpack Trader we like the Renko bars and range bars, is because they're pure price action. And so they actually give you a better idea of what price action actually looks like. Range bars probably is one of the easiest to read price action, although Renko bars will smooth it out considerably. And think about that. When you're day trading with a 15-minute chart, you only get 4 bars in an hour. that's a long time to stay in front of a chart. And how often do you actually have a trade that goes considerably more than 4 bars? Do you have a specific window that you trade in time wise, or are you just set up to trade any time it gets within, when you're recording based on your setups? You get like 15 trades a month, so basically you don't get a trade but about every other day. Yeah, actually, no, that's not true. You get about, probably you get trades 3 out of 4 days, because you're only looking at about 20 trading days a month. Okay, so you'll take them. What happens if you get a trade, overnight? Well, let me ask this question: what are you trading? If you're trading stocks or options, then yeah, that's no problem, because you aren't going to be trading overnight. If you're trading futures or forex, yeah, those markets are open overnight. And all of these are all but one are futures. Okay, you're trading gold. Now, how are you trading gold? There are a number, because there are gold ETFs. There are, you got gold, full contract and micro contract gold futures, and if you're out of the U.S., you've got uh, the gold commodity pairs in your forex spot market. So yeah, that's a tough way to live life, is always tied to your trading. That's CFD. I think that's what they call them. We can't use those in the U.S. because of our regulators protecting us. Oh my goodness! Don't get me started. But what what I'm doing here basically is my trade, as I'm talking here, the trade plans I'm running here are all of these started between, let's see, the pound Aussie started at 8:30, crude unleaded started at 9, micro Russell, YM, and soybean started at 9:30. This is Eastern Time, U.S. So actually, that's 8:30 exchange time for micro Russell, micro YM, or YM. We wait, so that's 8:30 start. 8:30 start for soybeans. Also, that's traded out of Chicago, which is Central Time. And micro NQ, we start at 8:34. We wait 4 minutes after market open, because it tends to be really volatile right at 8:30, which is market open, 9:30 Eastern. But now I'm done. It's now 10, just before 10:30 for me, and I'm not trading all 7 of these charts. And that's ridiculous. Now, with 15-minute charts, you could actually trade several different things in a particular time period with 15-minute charts, but I wouldn't. That's really a fairly long chart for a day trade. You know, with what I'm doing, I'm in the market for 2 hours, 2 to 2.5 hours a day, and then I've got the rest of my day to do whatever I want to do. I'm retired, but you can build your trading around your life, not have to build your life around your trading. So you gain a lot of freedom that way. I have, as I say, 2.5 hours. Typically trade 2 to 3 markets a day and I try to stagger the start time, so I'm not typically in more than two markets at the same time. You can't focus well enough beyond that. But most of the only charts that were running longer typically were on micro Russell and micro NQ. Soybeans will run a little long sometimes. Pound Aussie, you never know. But the futures markets, I'm usually in and out within 30 minutes. So then I have all of my day to do other things with it. I'm trading to make money to enjoy the other parts of my life. So I don't want trading to basically run the life. Something to think about. Troy Noonan is the founder of NetPicks, and he's got an excellent book out. A quick futures quick start or something like that. It's part of the. It's one part. He's done a couple of things, trading for dummies. He's done a forex quick start and a futures and equities quick start. So yeah, if you're trading CFDs, that could be any time of day. They're basically traded, 5 days a week, 24 hours a day. And I think just taking every trade, not a whole lot of reasons to. Then what do you do with your life when you get a trade if you're off doing something else? So that is a consideration with trading. Just food for thought. All right. Well, yeah. Okay. Soybeans just came down to the entry again. That's our lower right chart there. What pair do you trade for gold? You trade the X is it XAU USD or some the other one another currency? Okay, XAU USD. I don't know if what the 80 tick range will look like. Let's see. USD. I don't know if I'll have data for it or not. Yeah, I was afraid of that. Yeah, I don't have access to data for that because I'm US based. It was worth a shot. But that's just my thoughts, and I wouldn't want to be looking at my phone or whatever, or checking my phone when I got a real alert. Now, with TradingView, do you have an application on your phone that you can do that with? And do you run your charts on a virtual server so that your charts are always running, or are those running on your own computer? If you're just running those on your computer at home, then if anytime you have an internet outage or a power outage or something like that, all of a sudden you don't have any control of your trades anymore. All things to think about. All right. And soybeans going back up to 20. That line that's switching between red and blue is actually 20 simple moving average. The color indicates whether it's sloped up or down for a trend indicator. And it's going pretty much sideways. How many setup was it? 10:02 this morning, and it's now 10:30, 10:32. So it's been running for 30 minutes, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bars. Not very much in the way of price action, considering it's a 5-tick range bar. All right. It's been a good session this morning. We will talk to everybody next week. Regular sessions 9:30 Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 9:30 Eastern Time, Eastern Daylight Time, US. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Food oil inventory report session Wednesday at 10:30 Eastern. So I will go ahead and schedule the live streams as soon as I get off of this one for next week, and they will be out there. And we'll see everybody next week. Have a good one.